Hello everyone, and welcome to a sci-fi horror game made for the Spooktober Game Jam in 2025 called Fern Flower. It's another game about a cult. Two games about a cult back to back. I just love cults, guys. Can't you tell? Love cults. But I don't love them in real life. I love them in fiction. Prefer them in fiction. Let's go ahead and start. Disclaimer. This game contains visual triggers such as flashing lights and unsettling noises, as well as themes related to illness, psychological instability, and descriptions of death. Please be mindful of your mental state while playing or watching the video. Thank you. When else could it happen but today? And of course, at the most crucial moment. I thought the illness had eased for a while, but no, my hand hurts unbearably. Like thousands of needles tearing it from the inside. Well, that's not too far from the truth. I need to take a pill. It will dull the pain for a while. The intoxication level has long exceeded the norm. I'm running out of time. The day has come, the sacred day, the day of blossom, the day of salvation. Sing your songs, honor the heroes. Their path will be thorny, yet their goal noble, to bring salvation to our homes, to bring the fern flower. The druid's voice rang out deep and majestic, as if myriads of voices had merged into one otherworldly hum. Each word seemed to sink into me, making my heart pound faster and my head spin. Perhaps it was all just the festival atmosphere, with its monotonous songs and the dancing around the ritual fire, and the druid's voice, distorted by the sound relay, made everything feel unreal. People hand in hand moved into another round of dancing. Someone tossed more brushwood into the fire. A sharp wave of pain swept through my arm to my shoulder. I nearly blacked out, but managed to stay on my feet. Hey, are you okay? I'm fine. I see. I feel a bit sick too, from all this smoke. But the ceremony is almost over. Hang in there. I lifted my head. A little behind me stood a tall, dark-haired girl with pale skin and sorrowful eyes. She was nervously twisting a half-heart pendant that hung around her neck. Thanks. But the girl no longer looked at me. Her distant gaze was fixed on the forest. It was like she could see something there. Something that no one else could. I glanced around, trying to take in the other members of the expedition. Two of them stood beside me. One I knew very well. Vlatko. Tall, broad-shouldered guy with a stern, far too cold gaze for someone so young. We used to be friends, hanging out together as children, and oh, the irony, playing fern seekers. Who knows? Maybe we'd still be friends if not for that horrible day. The other was a middle-aged man with a kind face and a touch of gray in his hair. His worried look drifted across the crowd. Then his face lit up and he waved to someone. A small shadow broke from the crowd and waved back. In your hands our fate, in your hands our lives. So this is our team. The next few days, perhaps longer, depending on the blossom time, we'll spend together. And even that already feels like too much for a recluse like me. The only thing that keeps me together is our shared purpose. To find the fern flower in this cycle. Listen to the whisper of your heart and you will reach your goal. May the power of Fern protect you. Well then, the time has come. Bye-bye, Fire. Bye-bye, Colt. I think. What happened to all those other people? Well, team, here we are in the forest. We gaze in awe at the massive trees looming over our path. Twisted vines clung to the branches like snakes. The gray-haired man flinched his hand nervously, accidentally brushing against one of them. Creepy, isn't it? Catching my glance, he spoke. By the way, I'm Petro. We never really got a chance to talk during the lot drawing and the ceremony. So who are you? I don't recall seeing you in the village. He just hides from people. Vlatko said it without even looking my way. I live in an old hut near the forest and rarely come to the settlement. The hut where the herbalist used to live? So you're... Marechka broke off mid-sentence, shot a dark glance at Vlatko, then back at me. I see now why some people don't enjoy your company. She was about to ask something else, but Vlatko cut her off. Gear up! The toxic zone starts here. Hey Vlatko, you are just a druid's apprentice, not the high druid himself. So quit barking orders. These are not orders, Marichka. It's basic safety. Yeah, sure. The girl sneered and pulled on her mask. Vlatko turned away sharply and hurried ahead. Petro and I exchanged a glance and put on our gear as well. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. For a few seconds my head was spinning. The oxygen filters in our masks were outdated. The stench of rotten microcircuits filled my lungs with something foul and unnatural. I wanted to rip off the mask and breathe fresh air, even though it was heavy with the toxic pollen. Inhale, exhale. Copy, do you hear me? Loud and clear, all good. Actually, it wasn't. My head was still light, but the body would adapt soon. The main thing was to keep the intoxication level low. My radio keeps buzzing, lots of static. Indeed, Marichka's voice breaking up. The radios looked far too old and neglected, as nobody cared whether they worked. Not a good sign. I had to warn my teammates. Most likely this effect is caused by spore gas released by some Basidiomycetes. It seeps into the circuits and oxidizes them. Try not to use the radios unless necessary. Everyone stares at me in surprise. You are not such a simple hermit after all. I was embarrassed by their stern gazes. I wasn't used to so much attention. Hey! What the heck? Get off of me! We all turned to Vlatko. Something touched my leg just now. It felt alive. There are no animals here, only forest monsters. Better not stand still for too long. Let's move. Petro turned sharply and took the lead down the path. We hurried after him. I glanced at the intoxication level, still within normal range. But I didn't want to stay here long. Not because of forest monsters or religious fairy tales. The real threat was the heavy pollen. It could trigger anything, from nausea to hallucinations. I see the sign, the ribbon. We're on the right path. Yes, as the High Druid said, for everyone pure of heart and soul, the sacred ribbon show the true way. Did the druid also tell you where the true way led the last expedition? Or are you going to stay silent like your daddy? You know, I couldn't do anything. Do you think I don't blame myself every damn day? Couldn't? Or didn't want to? We should have gone after that team, but instead we're chasing a damn Fern. Hey Marichika, don't forget, this flower is our salvation. Salvation? If there's even anyone left to save. Petra froze in shock. Without looking back, Marichika strode ahead. I understood her. The loss of a loved one leaves an internal emptiness inside. I hurried along the path, studying plants around me. It was probably the first time I'd gone this deep into the forest. Usually I gather the herbs in my small grove near my hut, enough to brew a decent antidote. But here the plants were definitely more interesting, more diverse. Maybe I could even collect some. I examined every bush, waiting for the right moment to secretly pluck a sprout when no one was looking. Because of the settlement's strict laws, people were afraid to even mention plants other than fern. How foolish! Not every herb is as toxic or dangerous as they believed. There it is, a beautiful fresh shoot. Looks like Araliaceae. I found something similar before, and it proved itself surprisingly effective. Damn, what the... I reached for the plant, but jerked back instantly, nearly losing my balance. What's wrong? I tried to think fast, but Petra was already standing beside me, staring at the same sight. There, in the undergrowth, among the thick grass, lay a fern seeker's protective suit, covered with shoots and lichen. The strangest thing is that there was no body, no remains, nothing inside or near the suit. It looked as if whoever wore it had simply vanished into thin air. What's that? What are you staring at? Marichka quickly ran up to us and froze. Her eyes widened, her body went limp, and she collapsed to her knees. Oh no! It can't be him! My Ivenko! Marichka. This is definitely his suit. Look, the embroidered flower on the sleeve. I sewed it myself. Maybe he tore the suit off and went on. He should still be somewhere around here. Somewhere nearby. Marichka scanning the tangled thick in panic. Then grabbed the ripped suit and jumped to her feet. We have to look for him right now. Hey Marichka, stop. Remember our goal, to bring the fern flower. We can't let people go without a cure. We can't let anyone die. But, Marichka, it's been 5 years. The last expedition was 5 years ago. Hey, what is going on, and what the hell is up with your radios? I only hear static. Out of breath, Vlaco came running up. What the... Isn't that a Fern Seeker's suit? The three of us turned. Vlaco caught sight of Marichka's tear-filled eyes and quickly looked away. We've got a problem. The route. Something's wrong with it. Damn, the route really was messed up. We stood at a crossroads. The single trail we'd been following split into 4 directions, and the ribbons that once marked our way was now tied to almost every tree in the clearing. A chill ran through me. My whole body tightened as goosebumps spread under my skin. How is this even possible? Was someone deliberately trying to confuse our route? No. I had to push away paranoid thoughts and think rationally. My hand twitched. The pain dulled by pills for a while was slowly coming back. Va. I think we should split up. It's the only rational decision. Wait a minute. I'm playing a horror game. Splitting up is the least rational decision we could possibly make right now. Marichka swept her sharp gaze over the team. Doubtful. With the radios cracking like this, we'd only lose each other in the thicket. But we can't go back. Too many lives are at stake. I'm not saying we should turn back. Just maybe we could ask the druids for advice. And waste precious time. The blossom period is too short. We risk losing the flower completely. Shh. Let's just keep moving forward. Everyone turned to look at me. I also think we should split up. Maybe we'll find another sign. I'm sure there must be something around here. We'll stay in contact as long as the radios work. And if anything happens, we regroup here at the crossroads. Why do you think I agree? Yeah, I'm in. Vlatko? Petro, you were just saying we should stay together not too long ago. Ugh, fine, but I'm telling you, this is a bad idea. I'm here. What did you just say? Marichka, nobody said a word. That was just static on your radio. This Petro guy? I don't think I trust him. I don't think I trust Petro. He had a kind face. It could be a face of lies, too. It was humid, damp, and sticky in the forest, and soon my suit was covered in tiny drops. I went, wiping my goggles, just to see anything at all, and of course there was plenty to see. As far as my sight could reach, it was all twisted in overgrown thickets. Rare forest clearings were filled with flowers of every shape and form, and the tall tree trunks were dotted with thousands of iridescent fungi specimens. Well, quite a field, no? Forests for research, I chuckled to myself. Shh, leave. The radio hissed, but it wasn't clear who was speaking. Looks like the damn gear was finally breaking down. Perhaps we really would have to head back soon. Hello, who's there? Copy. Bad connection. Repeat. Shh, leave. Let go. Oh, come on now. No jokes now. The signal is bad enough already. What are you talking about? The only joke I see is someone flashing their light all the time. My flashlight is fine. Mine as well. Marichka, copy. Are you okay? Answer. Shh. I found him. What? Marichka, copy? Did you find something? The route. She doesn't answer. I think she's dead. That's bad. I wipe my goggles and look around, straining my sight into the thick forest. There, I caught a faint flashlight in the distance. I observed the blinking light southwest of me. Do you see it? Copy. Let's move. It doesn't look too far. Are you sure that's a good idea? What if it's a trap? Some evil spirit tricks. Come on, Vlako. We are all here to save our people, and Marichka is one of them. Let's go. Maybe we'd spread too far apart, and the signal couldn't reach any more. I tried to snake off my anxious thoughts while pushing through the tangled undergrowth. There are no evil spirits after all. It's just the forest. Just a forest full of toxic, strange, and dangerous plants. Yep. It's just a dangerous forest. No! Marichka! Petro's voice was raw and desperate, but I was already close. Through the shadows of the trees, I could see him waving his arms frantically. I rushed towards him. Bursting out of the thickets, I realized what had shaken Petro so much. In the middle of the clearing, choked with thorny shrubs, stood Marichka. Her protective mask lay discarded on the grass, her black tar-like hair spilling down her shoulders. And the strangest thing was, she was smiling. Her face glowed with joy. "Marichka, what are you doing? It's dangerous! Put the mask on!" Petro was shouting, thrashing helplessly in the thorny branches that held him back. Another minute, and his protective suit would be ripped to shreds. "Hold on, Petro. Just stay still for a second." "Marichka, she will die like this! Marichka!" But Marichka neither saw nor heard us. And Marichka is spelled wrong here as well. She only smiled, closed her eyes, and took a step towards the giant tree that towered over the clearing. For a moment I thought I saw someone's face among its moss-covered branches. "At last, I found you, love." Her faint voice was fading, yet we understood her words. Suddenly the tree shuddered, its branches quivered, then slithered like snakes towards Marichka. One more step and her body was swallowed by a writhing cocoon. And it was over. No branches, no snakes, no Marichka. Just a tree standing silent as if nothing had happened. Finally, I pulled Petra free from the prickly grip of the thicket. We both rushed into the clearing. Petro dropped to his knees where Marichka had stood only a moment ago. He picked up her protective mask, still lying on the grass. His shoulders shook silently. "Marichka, I was supposed to take care of her. After Ivanko died. After my brother Ivanko went back after the fern flower and never came back, I swore I'd protect her at any cost. But I failed. Petro, I'm so sorry." He knelt there, clutching Marichka's mask with trembling hands. I should give him a moment, but staying here too long was dangerous. I glanced at the silent tree that had devoured Marichka. All of a sudden, a cold, metallic glint flickered in its leaves. When I looked closer, I saw two pendants tangled in the branches. Two halves of a heart. "Petro, let's move. We have to keep going." I tried to sound calm, but I could barely stand on my feet. "Did you see Vlaco? Wasn't he right behind you?" What? I said, "Vlaco, did you see him? His radio is dead. He's not answering." "No, I don't think so. Guys, splitting up was a bad idea, and everyone knew it, and we still did it anyway. But I remember seeing 3 flashlights moving the same way, so we must have been close. But after I reached the clearing, and then shh. That's bad. We need to get back to the crossroad. Maybe Vlaco is waiting there." Shh. Did you hear that? Could be Vlaco, trying to contact us. Let's hurry up. Petro walked ahead, casting a distracted gaze around. I was still shaking, but tried to keep it together. But what the heck was back there? Carnivorous plants? A hallucination? Monsters? No, I have to focus. Instead of buying time, we lost it. And worse, we lost part of the team. Maybe Vlaco had been right. We should have turned back then. I accidentally touched the giant root. Pain shot through my hand. Right. I pulled a small dark jar from my pocket. Time to take another pill. How could I take a pill with a gas mask on my face? What's wrong with this forest? We were following the right path. Where did this swamp come from? I have no idea. Where the crossroad was supposed to be, a foggy, overgrown swamp stretched to the horizon. Nearby lay a broken tree with a ribbon tied around its thick trunk. No sign of Flaco. His radio was still silent. Yeah, but at least we found the route, and it leads into a swamp. Shh. Looks like Petro's radio was starting to malfunction. Dark, damp mud squelched underfoot. My suit was completely soaked, and with every step water crept inside. Water lilies and algae clung to my clothes so much that I looked like a forest monster myself. The water was thick, like jelly, and every step took a huge effort. Petro had walked far ahead, pushing apart the swampy thicket. He looked incredibly stalwart and focused. There was no trace left of the desperate man who had been sobbing back at the clearing. Hey, Petro, are you sure we're on the right track? Sure. See, there is a cave ahead. No doubt we should head this way. I even see the mark on that tree. I strained to look, but all I could see was an endless foggy swamp. Suddenly, the small glowing sprout popped up out of the water. Then another. Then another. The whole swamp began to glitter and with cold, flickering lights. Shh. What are you saying? Worry not. Your hand will be fine. Shh. I'll help you. But Petro? The wave of icy cold hit me like someone poured freezing water over my head. What the hell is he saying? How did Petro know about my sore hand? Don't worry, everything will be fine. Shh, Daddy is here? Daddy will bring the fern flower and your hand will stop hurting. Come here, my little one. Shh. I froze. No, not again. Petro rushed towards one of the glowing flowers. As gently as if it were a child, he tried to hold the plant, but it almost slipped out of his hands. Petro hugged it tighter. Daddy's here. At his touch, the light of the flower flared brightly and faded almost immediately. No! My daughter! Petro clutched the faded flower desperately. One by one, the shining plants around us began to dim. Meanwhile, the water started to seethe and swirl. I could barely keep my balance. Petro, drop the flower and come back. It's not your child. I'm coming to you. Do you copy, Petro? Shh. Silence. I had to bring him to his senses. Looks like the vegetation here was far more aggressive than I expected. Petro's figure was barely visible in the swamp's mist. I hurried forward as fast as the seething water let me. Suddenly something brushed against my leg. Fish? Amphibians? No, nothing like that could live here. And then I saw it. From the swirling water emerged claw-like hands draped in algae. They reached for Petro. Without hesitation, I grabbed the first branch I could find and swung it to drive away these creatures. But something seized my leg and dragged me underwater. The last thing I saw was Petro thrashing among the faded flowers before vanishing into the depths. No! Oh! I opened my eyes. A dark, massive figure loomed over me. A protective mask and goggles lay nearby. My eyes, nose, and mouth were filled with stinky swamp water. I coughed hard and inhaled humid air. Hey! Wake up, buddy. Holy druids, I thought you were gone. Vlaco? Here, take this. Put it on quickly, before it's too late. Vlaco grabbed my gear and shoved them into my hands. I pulled the gear on in a hurry. Better? Vlaco, where have you been? What? What happened? Petro, is he alright? I tried to steady my breath and focus. My head throbbing and my thoughts were in disarray. Vlaco frowned and turned away. Petro, I didn't see him. Your radios were silent and I completely lost the way. I wandered through this damned swamp for what felt like eternity. Then I heard screams and rushed there. You were thrashing in the water, probably caught by underwater roots dragging you down. By the time I pulled you out, you were already unconscious. Luckily, I spotted this small cave nearby. That's how we ended up here. Petro, he was with me. After Maricha's death, we searched for the crossroads. But we were trapped in those swamp and those thickets. Stop. Marichka, she's dead! Vlaco's frown deepened. His cold stare made me shiver. For a second I felt as if he were blaming me. I hunched instinctively. Shh. Did you hear that? Someone's radio is still on. I glanced at Vlaco with concern. All these noises on the radio, his strange behavior. Yeah, it could be an intoxication effect. But so far, it didn't seem to affect me. Maybe we still have a chance of making it out alive. As long as I stay conscious, I'll try to keep Vlaco from slipping into madness. I made an effort to stand up, accidentally leaning on my sore hand, and nearly howled in pain. My illness. Things are looking really bad. I need to take another pill. Wait, of course, that must be it. The thought struck me. Maybe that's the reason. The wild ginseng extract didn't just dull the pain, it slowed the toxin down too. I pulled the little jar from my pocket. Damn, only 2 left. We have to keep moving. First, let's find a way out of this cave, and hopefully not back into that swamp. After that, we'll look for some kind of signs or markers. Hey, how are you? Think you can walk? I pushed myself up, unsteady on my feet. I think I can. Vlaco was walking ahead. There was hesitation in his steps, the feeling of doubt and confusion. Sometimes he was marching forward with resolve, then freezing, staring into the dark depths of the cave. I've never seen him like this before. Usually he was confident, and maybe even a little bit arrogant, always looking strong and determined. But not now. The cave air was cold and damp. My soaked suit clung to my skin, and it chilled me to the bone. Brr, I need to warm up. But there was nowhere to hide from the cold. The cavern was huge, more like a graveyard of petrified trees than a dungeon. Every step echoed like 1,000 voices. Every rustle marked our presence. Our shadow fell on the stone walls, turning into strange, terrifying shapes. Thousands of fungi covered everything with a thin, glowing lace. Perhaps the level of toxin was off the charts. Without our mask, we wouldn't last for more than 5 minutes. I glanced at Vlaco. Hey Vlaco, are you okay? If you feel dizzy or have a headache, I have, well, I know you don't like this stuff, but I have medicine. It could help against the intoxication. Vlaco suddenly stopped. Shh. He stayed silent. I couldn't see his face, and that made it even creepier. Damn, maybe it's already too late. Slowly I stepped closer to Vlaco. Suddenly he turned around with unnatural bending moves. Vlaco! Get away from me, you traitor! I thought you'd given this up. I thought you'd finally come to your senses. You'll bring disaster to all of us. Maybe you already have. All these deaths. My father, the High Druid, warned me. Shh. You were never to be trusted. No flower but the fern flower must not be taken from the forest. And now the forest punishes us because of you. Just like it punished your parents. A massive threatening figure of Vlaco loomed over me. You wanted to find the fern flower only for yourself, didn't you? To use it just for your twisted experiments. You don't freaking care about anyone else. Murderer! In just a few seconds, Vlaco was right in front of me. Even through the mask, I could see his mad, twisted face. I tried to pull away, but he grabbed me and slammed me against the stone wall. I heard a crack. A little jar I was holding in my hand shattered. The last pill rolled to the ground. I jerked, trying to break free, but then I saw a silver flash in his hand. Instinctively, I raised my hand to shield myself. Everything happened too fast. A sharp blade tore through my suit. I gasped as burning pain shot through me, and warm blood ran down my sleeve. Vlaco's expression suddenly changed. The mad gleam in his eyes turned to sheer horror. He stared at my hand, covered in blood and horror. Then I realized. Through the ripped fabric, he could see my diseased hand. You're a demon! Forest monster, cursed! Vlaco stumbled back, slipping on the wet stone. He didn't notice the ground vanishing under his feet. For a moment he hung in the air, helplessly flailing his arms. Our eyes met, and in his I saw despair. Finally he realized everything. Then Vlaco was gone. The dark depth of the abyss swallowed him whole. I stood in the cave, gasping for breath, fighting to stay conscious. Darkness blurred my vision. Blood poured from my injured hand. It had to be stopped. I tore strips of my blood-soaked protective suit and wrapped them around my wound. It slowed the bleeding at least a little. I closed my eyes. Vlaco's terrifying face still burned into my mind. Vlatko, Petro, Marichka. I couldn't save any of them. It felt like something inside me snapped. I have to get out. Is it getting darker? My head was spinning. It seemed the cave walls were squeezing the space out. I have to move, find an exit, but where? Shh. Careful. Move carefully. There is danger everywhere. Shh. Stay. Everyone's staying. What is this? Toxic fever? A hallucination from pollen? Shh. Have to keep going. I can't stop, but why is it so hard to breathe? Shh. You left everyone behind. Shh. It's your fear. It's your sin. My head is about to burst. Whispers. Whispering on the radio. No, whispering in my head. It's your fear. It's fear. Fear, bruh. I can't take it. I should take off the mask. I can't. Oh, it hurts. I'm falling. Shh, 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 shh. What's that smell? Wild herbs? Wheat? The sun is warm, flooding the green meadows. I'm 5. I found a beautiful colored flower. Vlaco and I argued about whether we should pick it. Flowers are not to be touched. But I said my mom is kind, and she is picking them herself. And I was sure she had never seen one as pretty as this. Vlaco lowered his head. He never liked breaking rules. I'm already at the doorstep of my home. Inside it smells of spicy pastry. But there's something else. A sharp, bitter smell. Like the one in Vlaco's house. Mom, it's okay. Don't cry. A tall man in the dark cloak, with a frightening look, is shouting something. Then he turns and slams the door. Mom, don't cry. Look, I found a beautiful flower for you. What's that smell? I forced my eyes open. Dim, cold light revealed an outline of an old abandoned room. A rusty metal table, a few broken chairs with strange mechanisms, a shuttered glass cabinet. All this furniture looked odd and unfamiliar. I'd never seen anything like it. On the walls hung scraps of half-rotten papers. Everything was covered in thick greenery, but not the kind you can see in the forest. No glowing spores, no poison shoots, no toxic pollen. It smelled fresh. Right! I reached for my face. I had taken off my protective gear. I inhaled deeply. Breathing was easy and my head began to clear. I tried to stand up. Leaning on the cold wall, I managed to get to my feet. I swayed a little, weak from the blood loss. I glanced at my injured hand. The bandage was almost gone. No fresh blood, only dry, thin, dark traces on the skin. Now I understand why Vlaco was afraid. Anyone would react the same way if they saw my cursed hand. It looked more like twisted root covered with forest growth than a human arm. Pale green sprouts broke from the darkened skin, and thin vines wrapped it in a white lace of tiny flowers. It was almost beautiful in a way, but most people would disagree. Such a mutation meant one thing: the forest plague. I moved my hand. There was no pain. Strange, considering the recent wound. I looked closer. Damn. The wound was gone, and the cut from Vlaco's knife had been overgrown with green shoots. A few young stalks had stitched the skin together. I was stunned. Maybe we were wrong about the nature of this disease. And this place. I looked around. The greenery shimmered in the flickering cold light. But something felt off. Light? What time was it? Shouldn't it still be night? Rays broke through a wall covering with twisted vines. I stepped forward and pulled them aside. What was outside? Also, I wonder why they would do an expedition at night. Seems pretty dangerous, you know? It looked like a glowing plant in the clearing. Is it the fern flower? It was bright as day. Finally, I was so close. The closer I got to the clearing, the stronger I felt, the easier I breathed. The pain in my hand was gone, my muscle filled with strength. The pain in my hand was gone, my muscles filled with strength. So the fern flower really has healing power. Joy and peace spread inside of me. I smiled. I wanted to run just like when I was a child. I speeded up, almost running. My body felt weightless like a feather. It seemed even the small breeze could lift me up. So quiet here, so calm, as if I had come home. I came into the light. There it is, the healing fern flower. What? A beautiful, dazzling flower rose above the twisted, sheer stalks. It grew from Vlatko, Petro, Marichka. Their bodies, tightly wrapped in vines, were covered with growing sprouts. They had become part of the hill, its soil, its fertilizer. I stumbled back in shock. No, it can't be. The only thing that makes the healing flower grow is a human body, eh? That's the price we pay for salvation? Life for life? I stood staring at this horrifying yet wonderful gift. Did the druids know this terrible truth and hide it? Or maybe they never realized where they were sending us. But now, I know I had to decide what to do next. Oh. Alright. Oh, what should we do, guys? I'm gonna do all three of them, so... Pick the flower and tell the truth. I must pick the flower. People in the settlement are waiting for salvation, but they must know the truth. We all must know the price of our lives. I stepped closer and plucked the flower. It still shone brightly as I hid it inside of my pocket. I should head back. Heretic! Liar! You disgrace the name of the Fern Seeker. You dared to profane the sacred flower. Your punishment is death. You achieved the ending. The price of truth. This visual novel was created by Midnight Hiccup. Thank you for playing. Okay. Let's go ahead and load it again. Pick the flower and keep the secret. I could just give them the flower, save everyone. But they would never accept the truth about the price of salvation. Maybe it's better to keep it secret. I stepped closer and plucked the flower. It still shone brightly as I hid it inside my pocket. I should head back. Savior! You did it! At last I reached the settlement. Joyful songs rang out. The feast went on. The flower was found. The people were saved. I walked with my head low. A little girl ran to me. She was asking about her father, but I couldn't say a word. I came to the ritual fire and silently gave the fern flower to the druid. I couldn't bear to look into his eyes. They were just like Vlatko's. People kept dancing around the fire. Couples were exchanging tender glances. For them, life went on. Without looking back, I walked away, carrying a terrible secret. One that no one should ever know. You achieved the ending. The price of life. Yes. Alright. And now, final ending. Stay here and study the flower. I could just stay here and study the fern flower. Find a way to grow it without human sacrifices. I stepped closer and plucked the flower. It still shone brightly as I hid it inside of my pocket. Day 3,428. That's a lot of days to study a flower, man. Today I couldn't manage to get out of bed. My right leg is completely stiff. I can't even bend it. The sprout grows through my skin faster every day. They wrap around my body as if trying to consume me whole. I don't have much time left. These notes hold everything I learned here. All my research. Seeker, if you're really reading this, think carefully and find the wisdom to make the right choice before you pick the fern flower. You achieved the ending, the price of research. I don't think they will ever be a good ending. All the endings are pretty brutal, and only you can decide what choices you decide to make after seeing something pretty brutal, witnessing it, experiencing it, having your ex-best friend nearly kill you over it. It's a pretty cool story. I'm glad I got to play it. The style was definitely unique, a little simple, but I really enjoyed it. It's interesting. And it is like one of those cults where they believe like, well, I mean, I don't even think they have access to modern medicine, but some cults believe in the power of something, beyond them, right? That power beyond them will heal you, not modern medicine. So this guy had modern medicine, or the medicine that he made from the herbs, and that's why that guy got so mad, because he believes that the fern flower will save them all, but, the use of other things to actually help you or heal you are forbidden because it's not from the greater one. But I want to tell you guys something, an interesting truth, okay? An interesting truth about that. If you believe something like that, or you're in a situation where that's something that's been passed on to you or something, think about it in this way. God made literally everything. So if God gave us all the tools, and we, through history, have discovered how to use these tools to better our situations, to help us, basically, I think we should see these things as blessings and gifts. And I think if, God gave us all these tools, we're using them properly. If we're using it to better people's lives, and I don't think it should be shunned. Because in the end, I think God wants you to use what is at your disposal, and then that's what human history is about. We use what was given to us, by Him to make things better for us. If you think about it like that, then I think it's okay to go to the hospital if you're sick. They even explore that still in modern, religions and stuff, believing that if you pray to God, your sickness will go away. That's a real thing that happens with people. People, shun out help or don't get help for things that they're going through because some part of them believes that God inflicted all this pain onto them or something, or, they think God will take it away if He sees it fit or something like that. It's a psychological manipulation on yourself to keep yourself, away from getting better. But I don't think God would want you to just stay there and let whatever happen to you. If you're afraid of something, you just gotta remember that, God doesn't give you fear and anxiety. The devil does. God doesn't want us to live in fear and anxiety. It's interesting I get to talk about this right now because it is a weird truth in this world that people have literally died because of it. And some people will say, well, survival of the fittest, right? I mean, I think that's it could be true in a way, but it's also like it's not the way I would want to look at something. I want to feel empathetic towards people, sympathetic. I want to see what they're going through, and I want to help them heal. And I'm sure God would want that too, you know? So I feel like I want to say something about it because, you know, I've read about it happening. I've seen it happen in cults that hold people back from getting medical treatment. It's sad to see. It really is. And I don't think people should have to just wait around and die, you know, to die for a god, you know. Because I don't think God would want you to do that. I think God gave you this life and He wants you to take full advantage of it and prolong your life as much as you can. I'm sure He doesn't want you to sit back and wait for whatever it is to take you away. I think He values true fighters. I guess that's what I'm saying. Anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video and the story as much as I have. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. I'll talk to you later. And goodbye.